Welcome to another edition of Dan Factoids. In this session, we're going to be talking about hearing instruments and diving. One of the privileges of working with Dan is that we get fascinating emails. Here's the one that relates to the topic in question. I'm really interested to know more about the risks involved or the slight possibility that someone who is already stuck with hearing instruments can scuba dive. My guess is an obvious no, but an opinion from professionals is always more than helpful. Well, we really appreciate the question, and it really brings out a number of factors. The first thing I'd like to mention, though, is that hearing instruments are expensive and they don't appreciate water, especially seawater. So whatever they are and wherever they are, I would really want to recommend that you keep them far away from water and that you have the appropriate drying agents to make sure that they don't suffer damage as a result of damp. Then we get to the ear question. There are different reasons why people wear hearing instruments, and there are a variety of hearing instruments. One of the most common reasons is because of gradual loss of the function of the inner ear. If that's the case, it doesn't interfere with the ability to equalize. In other words, the person will still be able to mobilize an intact tympanic membrane as a result of increasing pressure in water. And as long as that is possible, diving is physically possible. If there's a hole in the eardrum, or if there's been a cochlear implant, or if there's been significant surgery and dizziness and other complicating factors, that's a whole different situation. But if it's just a matter of hearing loss, then the chances are pretty good to be able to dive. So make sure that you go and see a diving physician and consult an ENT who is familiar with diving. And Dan is able to provide you with the names of those individuals. You can consult us, and there are links that we provide that you would be able to find such an individual. Another important safety factor when it comes to hearing loss and diving is the ability to actually be able to respond to hearing signals. Now, we know that underwater you can't locate or precisely locate the origin of sounds, but it is still possible to hear a boat propeller. And therefore, if a person is completely deaf, they should be considered a disabled, or as it is called, a handicapped scuba diver. There's in fact a Handicapped Scuba Diving Association. And the approach there is to have two able-bodied individuals who is able to then support and serve as the ears, as it were, of the individual, warning them and being able to recall them if there is some sort of in-water emergency requiring them to return to the surface. I'd like to encourage you to provide more details regarding the cause of the hearing loss in this particular case, because that will allow us to provide more precise answers. Thank you for these fascinating questions and for being interested in Dan. Dan is the largest safety organization and has been assisting divers for more than 40 years. Dan was an organization formed by divers to help divers, and that is what Dan is all about. We hope today's video was helpful and that it will stimulate questions, and that you'll subscribe in the link below.